Yo, yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. Hope you had a great start to your weekend overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about the controversy between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into Frank Sanchez absolutely flattening Richard Torres. We're going to be speaking about uh we gonna speak about a lot, man. We definitely gonna speak about a lot. We definitely gonna get into some open boxing topics. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If I could go ahead and hit that like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,500 mark. Looking to crack that 3,600 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. What's going on, y'all? What's up? What's up? Talk to me, man. This was a crazy night. This was a crazy night, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. My day started off kind of hectic, man. I had a wake up early in the morning. I was supposed to work. It was supposed to be a typical Saturday. But unfortunately, I had to take my son over to the emergency room, man. He had a bad little breakout of like hives. And I just wanted to get that checked and make sure that everything was okay with my son. Fortunately, it was nothing dangerous. I mean, they just gave us some like allergy meds and things to stop the itching and all of that. So, I was blessed and fortunate enough to, get the news that everything's okay. Well, we're gonna do some follow up appointments, make sure everything is all right with him. But for the most part, since then, I just rest, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, we was able to get it. We was rest, man. I sleep through the majority of that card that was going on. I was able to see Jack Catterall defeat Giasov. Shout out to Jack Catterall. He putting together a nice little resume. Jack Catterall is, man. He's doing some phenomenal shit, and one of the most underrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Um, don't seem to dodge any type of smoke. Always comes in fully prepared. Is always confident, and you could tell that Catterall really trusting his abilities, man. So I want to see him get a world title shot, man. I really do. I want to see this dude actually get a world title opportunity because I think from the very beginning he got fucked over by the politics of boxing, having that controversial loss to Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? To this day, that was one of the most disgusting robberies to ever take place. He was able to, get his revenge and shit like that. But at that time, it was too late. You feel what I'm saying? But now he had 147. He's stringing together some good performances, and I think it's about that time, man. I think Jack Catterall really deserves it. You feel what I'm saying? One of the most underrated fighters in boxing. We was talking about somebody else who I felt like was super underrated too. Damn, who was it? We were just talking about him too. In other news, Hamza Shiraz, he just became a world champion, man. Shout out to him. He faced a lot of controversy after that controversial draw with Carlos Adames and stuff like that. He was able to move up in weight, put together a good performance against Edgar Berlanga, and then win a world title, today. So now the super middleweight division looked totally different, man. We got Osley Iglesias, we got Christian and Billy, we have Hamza Shiraz now, and who's the other champion? The landscape of the super middleweight division has completely changed, though. Who's the champion that I'm missing, y'all? Let me know. Jack versus Rolly making next. That's a great fight. Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia just defeated Armando Resendiz. You know what I'm saying? We got some real crazy ass matchups. If they able to get that super middleweight division unified, I mean, we get some shit popping. Canelo Alvarez, Christian and Billy, their press conference just happened not too long ago. I was in the middle of making a video, but I had left something at the hospital. They called me, and that's like a 20-minute drive from my crib. So I had to I was like almost home, and they like, hey, you left something behind him. Fuck. So I had to drive all the way back around. And because I answered that phone call, the video stops. I'm like, man, I'm not making another video. I'm going to save it for the live. You know what I'm saying? Hamza the best, then Canelo. Let's see how Canelo performs in this fight with and Billy, because I don't think this fight is as easy as people making it seem. And I'm gonna keep it real, man. A lot of people ain't talking about this fight enough. And to be honest, I genuinely feel like the media and boxing, man, like they not real boxing fans, bro. I'm trying to tell you, because you know what I mean? I feel like these guys are more fans of the individual than they ever were of the sport. You feel what I'm saying? That's always been one of my biggest criticisms with boxing fans of today and just the media overall. Because, you know, of course, people are talking about Canelo versus Billy. It's Canelo Alvarez. But a lot of people aren't hyped for it. How I feel like they should be. This is a crazy ass fight stylistically. This is going to be a banger. Very dangerous fight for both guys, to be honest with you, because you know, Christian and Billy, you know, he's confident, young, undefeated champion. You know what I'm saying? Had a little close fight with Lester Martinez, but son is done. You know, he's been able to become world champion and get this opportunity. And you could tell how the way he talks that, you know, he doesn't really seem rattled at the fact that he fighting Canelo. We'll wait to see in the ring, to be honest with you. Christian and Billy not known. Well, if you a boxing fan, you need to know who Christian and Billy is. He had a fight of the year contender last year. Well, he fought Lester Martinez last year, right? Then he fought him at like the end of 2025. Man, if you a boxing fan and you don't know him by now, yeah, they fought each other. They fought each other in September of last year. You know what I'm saying? So if he had a fight of the year contender and you don't know who he is, are you really a boxing fan? But regardless, man, during the press conference, I didn't really expect these guys to really go back and forth and have like this beef and animosity. But they, you know, I was expecting it to be a boring press conference, but they had their little words back and forth, so that'll do. You know what I mean? I like I like drama during press conferences. I enjoy a little bit of trash talk, but they gave us a little bit. You know what I mean? Canelo's not the biggest trash talker. He'll talk shit, but most likely he won't initiate it. Christian and Billy doesn't really seem like he's that well versed in English. Kind of felt like to me, Canelo was better than him at speaking English, which was crazy, but you know, it is what it is. Christian and Billy, young, undefeated, confident, you know what I'm saying? Really can't, you know, he got a high knockout ratio. He feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, he's not that, you know, he's a little bit older than Christian and Billy, but has a lot of experience, man. Been pro since he was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, by the time he fights, he might be 36 years old. For real, for real. But as of right now, he's 35. You know what I'm saying? So that means he's been pro for 2 decades already. That's a lot of wear and tear. But with that wear and tear does come experience. And if Canelo has something left in the tank, he'd give Christian and Billy a whole lot of problems. And I see why Canelo and his team, who moves very calculated, I could see why they chose Christian and Billy, because when they're watching these fights against Lester Martinez and any of the fights previously that he had, they will know that, yeah, he's aggressive. He comes forward. He lets his hands go. But there's a lot of opportunities to, you know, hit him. You know what I'm saying? Because Christian and Billy, you know, for him being as aggressive as he is, you're bound to get hit. So Canelo sees a lot of opportunity. And I don't think at this point in his career, Canelo wants to really chase guys or look for guys or guys who are going to attempt to outbox him. He wants to be the superior, but I think he'd rather be the more skilled boxer, be the one to outbox if necessary. You know what I mean? So I think moving forward, he's going to be looking for guys who are going to sit there and bring him a fight, so he doesn't have to do, you know, all of the extra shit. But I really feel like, in all honesty, this shit is going to backfire on him, y'all. You know what I mean? I see people picking, you know, my boy Justin Jackson. He said, I got Cinnamon outboxing him. I mean, that's a possibility because, you know, Christian and Billy, he's very green for being a champion in terms of like high level experience. Yeah, you fought Lester Martinez, but he was just as experienced as you. To be fair, outside of that, Christian and Billy hasn't really fought anybody notable, in my opinion. No disrespect to him, but, you know, for him having 29 fights, you know, his resume is a bit, you know, underwhelming. But, you know, that's not his fault. Maybe he just wasn't given, you know, the opportunities that other guys was given. Maybe guys didn't want to fight him while he was on the come up. Regardless, there may be a situation where Christian and Billy is boxing Canelo Alvarez. He might get a little starstruck in there. I've seen decorated guys who fought Canelo Alvarez and been completely starstruck when they're in the ring with him. Like, yo, I'm really in the ring with Canelo. Maybe Christian and Billy might have that and be a bit respectful in there. Maybe Christian and Billy comes in there, gets hit with a shot, gets they reach an understanding, and now Christian and Billy playing it safe. I feel like that's what Jaime Munguia did with Canelo Alvarez, to be honest with you. Jaime Munguia was letting his hands go. Canelo hit him with a sharp shot. Boom. Jaime Munguia went down. He got up, and they had a little understanding after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So, Christian and Billy might be one of those. He not experienced enough to know what to do with Canelo. Canelo got all the experience in the world. This another day in the office for him. Experience might take over. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real possibility, and that's probably why Christian and Billy is being targeted by Canelo and his team right now. However, there's been times where Team Canelo has, chosen fights, thinking that it was a calculated move, and then it went on to backfire on them. Dimitri Bivol, you know what I'm saying? They thought because he didn't look, he looked subpar in his latest performances that, Bivol was just going to go for it at 175. He thought that, Dimitri Bivol was gone, and he found out real quick Bivol was one of the best fighters in the world. I think they did the same thing with Terrence Crawford. They thought he was going to go out like Jermell Charlo, moving up multiple weight classes, not being able to get, sluggish, a little sluggish at the weight, legs ain't underneath him. I think they did the same thing with Terrence Crawford, but that backfired. Because little did they know, Terrence Crawford got damn near for a whole year to put on that weight and prepare for Canelo Alvarez. So this may be another situation where Canelo Alvarez may have made a miscalculation when it comes to Christian and Billy. And I'm going to tell y'all something, right? Because there's a stigma out there that, Canelo Alvarez has a lot of, only has trouble without boxers. True. We've seen that happen in the past. But there is more than one way to defeat Canelo Alvarez. Let's not get that misconstrued at all. I've been telling y'all for the longest that Canelo Alvarez has real trouble since his 154 days, has had trouble with guys who come forward, let their hands go, and are not afraid to get hit by Canelo Alvarez. Let's rewind back, because I really feel like this fight with Billy may have some parallels to the James Kirkland fight. Now, what are you talking? You might be saying, what are you talking about, Marcus? Canelo Alvarez sparked James Kirkland. True. We know that. The boy got put on a highlight reel. One of the nastiest knockouts of Canelo Alvarez's career. I get it. However, when you watch what led up to that knockout, James Kirkland went right to Canelo Alvarez. He went right to Canelo Alvarez, brought the fight to him, and to this day, Canelo Alvarez says James Kirkland is the biggest puncher or the hardest puncher he's ever been in the ring with, and he gave Canelo trouble until, he got hurt and then got put out. You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason why I see parallels between James Kirkland and Christian and Billy is because they both share similar mentalities. They go out for the kill. They're very aggressive. They let their hands go. Big punchers. Knockout artists. And even if it means, and I don't know, Christian and Billy hasn't, taken that route where he's going out on his shield, but it seems like Christian and Billy got one approach and he's willing to live or die by that approach. That's just how I observe him so far. When I was watching that Lester Martinez fight, it looked like he did not want to take no for an answer. You know what I'm saying? You would see Lester Martinez getting off on him. Then he'll put together an 8-10 punch combination and held his conditioning throughout the course of 12 rounds, something that Canelo Alvarez doesn't do. Junior Frank, that's a great comment right there. You said his cardio ain't that great, especially getting up there in age. It seems like Canelo conditioning is winding down a little bit. He is more injury prone. He's had multiple surgeries in the last few years. So maybe Canelo can't train as hard as he used to, hence why conditioning ain't where it once was. So when you're pushing, and that's why Canelo Alvarez is a slow starter. That's why he likes to take his time, the first 4 or 5 rounds, because he's trying to preserve that gas tank. If he's able to preserve that gas tank, he could give you the last 7 rounds clean, and win a unanimous decision if he doesn't knock you out. You feel what I'm saying? But in the past, when we've seen Canelo Alvarez get pushed outside of his pace where he has no choice but to fight, we see Canelo Alvarez gas out 6-7 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So this may be a miscalculation just based off of the fact that if Christian and Billy if he takes the same approach like he did with Lester Martinez, where he's willing to take a shot, and press Canelo Alvarez back and outwork him, and Billy may very well defeat Canelo Alvarez, man. And this is a crazy comeback fight for Canelo, but maybe in Canelo Alvarez's head and with that deal he has with Turki Alalshikh be running around here talking about how he ain't doing no motherfucking charity events, which is bullshit. You know what I mean? This fight with Usyk and Rico is a fucking charity, to be honest with you. And we're going to get into that fight as well. But, Canelo's probably only going to be lined up to fight dogs. I think if it was up to Canelo Alvarez, I think that he would have fought, a lighter touch. But he says he wants to get right back in with the champions. I guess he observed Iglesias. You know what I mean? He observed he already beat Jaime Munguia. You know what I'm saying? He see Hamza Shiraz. Hamza Shiraz in Turkey like this, so they probably gonna leave that for late 2020. In 2027. You know what I'm saying? So he looked at Christian and Billy. It was like a lot of holes in this game, a lot of shit that I could exploit. Let's fight him. You feel what I'm saying? And plus Canelo in the WBC like this, so why not? You feel what I'm saying? But that's my thoughts overall, Christian and Billy and Canelo. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna sit back and do a little bit more studying. But it might be a situation where I might peak. I might not pick. I'm saying might not. I might pick Christian and Billy to defeat Canelo Alvarez. I might. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes, y'all. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes. Won't be surprised if Billy defeats Canelo Alvarez. Now, let's talk about the controversy that just occurred between Oleksandr Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rico, man. I told y'all I didn't really care to talk about that fight too much because I felt like, that fight was just simply entertainment. I told y'all guys that Rico wasn't deserving of that opportunity, that there was guys like Kabiel who ended up stepping in the ring. Shout out to Kabiel. Sound like they're going to make that fight happen sometime soon in Germany. Definitely going to speak about that. But shout out to Rico for absolutely proving me wrong and making me look like an absolute idiot out here in these streets, right? Because there was a lot of things that I didn't take into consideration or noticed. Because when I'm seeing these face-offs, I'm not seeing a crazy size difference between the two. I'm seeing Rico is a little taller, but, they heavyweight, so it's like, whatever. But, man, Rico did not come into play. Boy, I could tell Rico trained his ass off for this fight. Usyk, not so much. I don't know what it is with these heavyweights when they face mixed martial artists that are heavyweights and stuff like that. I don't know and I feel like Usyk is too humble to underestimate a motherfucker, but and he cited some personal issues. Apparently his family was at a bomb shelter out in Ukraine, unfortunately because of the war that's still going on over there, and maybe that might have hindered his focus in the ring. I don't know. But looking at Oleksandr Usyk, man, like even his body, like he looked like his body looked real square. And I don't know if that's how his body always looked, but he didn't look like he was in top shape. That's just my opinion. You feel what I'm saying? I got to go back and look at the other fights where, AJ and Fury, some of his best performances. He didn't look like he was in the best of shape. So that's one. Then Rico looked absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Next to Oleksandr Usyk, and I get it. Usyk came from cruiserweight and all that, but Rico's a big motherfucker, bro. I did not expect him to be that big, and he did something. He did something in there that a lot of people have been calling to do against Oleksandr Usyk, but nobody was able to fully execute that game plan because obviously it's easier said than done. But like we demanded that Anthony Joshua in the two fights he had with Usyk be the bigger guy, rough him up, be physical. We asked the same thing for Tyson Fury, who we seen him do that in the past with Deontay Wilder, Steve Cunningham. We seen him get physical. We seen him get gritty, but neither one of them guys were fully able to execute it and exploit Oleksandr Usyk's weaknesses, at least enough to get the victory. You know what I mean? They all fell short. So when I'm seeing Rico, it is, it's a little bit of an awkward style as well, but we got to understand, like, from what I understand, he was a kickboxer. So it's not, if it's a kickboxer transitioning over to boxing, it's very rare that fighter's going to be conventional. You know what I mean? So when I'm watching Rico, I'm seeing Rico punch with bad intentions. I'm seeing him be a little physical with Usyk. I'm seeing him giving him no respect in there. So it was a great approach. It was a great strategy from Rico. And bro, them rounds was close, man. Like I'm seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that Rico was up significantly. I seen Mike Cotmanger's scorecard, and I don't really care too much for his opinion or his scorecards or anything like that. But it seemed like that was the general consensus online. You know what I mean? I thought Rico was definitely winning those rounds. I thought he was comfortably up, especially towards them later rounds. And I'm like, bro, are you fucking serious? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, is this really about to happen right now? Because when we're talking about Usyk, he's a top 2, top 3 pound for pound fighter in the world. I'm like, you struggling with a guy who has one professional fight? And that one fight was well over a decade ago. Is that what we doing? Like, is this a type of performance? Is this how you're going to represent boxing? And this is why entertain these fight more craft, and these guys don't know different martial arts. I feel like this is, I forget the All-Star game. Nowadays, like, these All-Star games just be like vacations and shit. Them motherfuckers don't want to play hard. They just fucking around. You know what I mean? Like, they think it's just all fun, and you know what I'm saying? It's a scrimmage. And that's why these guys been performing this way. Like with Fury and Ngannou. Fury out of shape, didn't really seem to be taking the fight serious, and Ngannou got on his ass. And a lot of people to this day feel like, and I've seen Ngannou speak on it, like, oh, this ain't meant for us to win anyway, but Rico won. That's basically what he said. So there's people to this day that feel like Ngannou beat Fury. Fury was fucking around and made the fight way harder than it needed to be. But if you guys follow the 10 commandments of boxing that Andre Ward put together, which I follow heavily when it comes to boxing, you can't underestimate nobody. I don't give a fuck how decorated you are, how skilled you are, how many credible fighters you've beat. You got to treat a motherfucker like Rico Verhoeven the same way that you treating an Anthony Joshua, that you're treating a Tyson Fury, that you're treating anybody, Daniel Dubois, anybody who's at the top of the heavyweight division. You have to treat a 1-0 just like you treat a 100-0. You gotta have that. The moment that you start getting overly confident and you start underestimating motherfuckers, you're gonna make it more difficult than what it is. And I remember in the amateurs, man, this wasn't none of my fighters or nothing like that, but my guy Derek Moore fought a guy by the name of Muhammad. I forgot his last name, man. Shout out to him though. He's from out Jersey. He turned pro and everything already. But he had a terrible record. He was like 1-8. And Derek is humble enough to understand that it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter how many wins and losses he got. You got to treat everybody the same. So we was able to come out victorious. But he gave Derek a tough-ass fight. And then after Derek defeated him, he fought a guy who was undefeated. You feel what I'm saying? Fought a guy that was undefeated. I think he was like 8-0. That motherfucker Muhammad dogged him, beat him up. Why? Because on this website where we do the matchmaking at, I'm sure that undefeated bull seen that guy's record and was like, oh, this easy work. Probably thought that it was going to be another walk in the park, or I'll beat guys with better records, and got his ass whooped, got embarrassed in that joint. Out in Jersey, out in Central Jersey. I remember I was there. I was like, I said, bro, that boy Muhammad could fight. I hope dude taking him serious. And I could tell by how the way he performed, he didn't. So I said all of that to say, to me, it could be multiple reasons why Usyk performed the way he did, but this is what I'm gravitating towards, right? One reason, he undertrained. Didn't look like Usyk was really in the best shape. He has been talking about retirement, so maybe he's not training as hard as he's supposed to, or maybe, he's just winding things down. I don't know, but it looked like he definitely undertrained. which goes hand in hand with underestimating a motherfucker. If you go into a 12-round fight underestimating somebody, that might cause you to undertrain. Another one, Father Time. Usyk, 35 years old, man. You know what I mean? Father Time catches up to people differently, but Usyk been in boxing for a long time. Maybe he got old in this fight. We'll see, I guess, in his next fight, because apparently he's supposed to fight Caballero or rematch Rico. I don't know what he's going to do. But, maybe Father Time caught up. 3, maybe his family being in a fucking bomb shelter threw off his functionality, his focus. I don't know. They say he 37, 38. Let me see how old Usyk is. I swear they said he was 35. Oh, shit, I stand corrected. He's 39 years old. Proves my point even further. He's 39. My apologies. I must have got caught up with Canelo. I think Canelo's 35. Anyways, he's 39 years old. You feel me? Shout out to the correction in the chat. Shout out Junior. Father Time, underprepared, underestimation, maybe some personal issues at home. I don't know what it is. What I'm gravitating towards, I feel like he overlooked Rico. I don't think he expected that fight to be as difficult as it is. He probably thought Rico was tough. You know what I mean? Probably thought he was durable, but didn't really think much of this motherfucker testing his IQ, testing his skill set. You know what I'm saying? Because when Floyd fought Conor McGregor, I heard that nigga ain't trained. I heard he ain't trained at all. But to be real, that's Floyd. That's Floyd. You know what I mean? So he was able to get away with it. In those smaller weight classes, it seems like them MMA fighters don't really do too well. But these heavyweights, y'all need to start, man. Let this Fury Ngannou, because AJ played with Ngannou, and you've seen what happened. Heavyweights need to take notes, man. If you're going to be out here doing entertainment fights against these MMA artists, especially if they punchers, or they big, they durable, they strong, prepare for them just like how you would prepare for another champion in your division or a top contender in your division. I guarantee you Usyk not going to approach Caballero like that. If he approached Caballero like that, Caballero will pack Usyk the fuck up. Guaranteed. Now, I know Caballero watched that fight. Let's get into the stoppage. Let's get into the stoppage, y'all, because it seems like Rico was starting to break down a little bit. He was starting to feel the fatigue and all that, and Usyk was peppering him with shots. But one thing about Usyk is his punches are sharp, and a lot of the times the fighters don't see the shot coming, and it was a beautiful uppercut. The uppercut was there all night, to be honest with you, but that one he landed flush. It was clean. It was on the money. And Rico was definitely hurt. He was hurt. He fell. And it looked like he was trying to get his bearings back. And they gave this dude plenty of time to recover. Gave him plenty of time to recover. And Usyk was complaining about that. But however many seconds was left in the round, there's probably like 10 seconds left. You know, Usyk lets go a combination. But the bell's just about to ring, and the end of the 11th, and the referee waves it off after Usyk lets off a combination on Rico, and Rico definitely was scrambled. He was definitely hurt. Didn't go down, but he was definitely in a very dark situation. I think we can all agree to that. So the referee waves it off. Now, as soon as I seen this, I was like, wow, this is absolutely insane. And I knew that the outrage was coming as soon as I seen it. I said, oh, man, these boxing fans is about to snap. You feel what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie. For me, as a boxing fan, and I don't condone fuckery, I don't condone, gifts, robberies. As boxing fans, we don't like that shit. But I ain't gonna lie, I had a fucking sigh of relief that Usyk was able to pull that shit off. Because for one, if Usyk would have lost tonight, my brother, that shit would have made the. And we got a black eye. You know, I seen somebody who said something about a black eye. Something about a black eye in the sport. My boy Eduardo Alvarez said boxing took a black eye today. Yeah, absolutely. I think regardless, we got a black eye today on the sport. But if he would have lost, it would have been 2 black eyes. You feel me? The whole face would have been fucked up. Cut, stitches, hematomas, all that. You feel what I'm saying? So I had a sigh of relief, like, thank God. When motherfuckers look back on this fight, they won't say that a kickboxer, one professional fight, be the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Arguably the best fighter in the world in Oleksandr Usyk. Thank God. But what do I personally think about the stoppage? I think exactly what y'all think. Terrible stoppage. Terrible stoppage. It kind of rewinded me back to the Meldrick Taylor versus Chavez fight. You know what I'm saying? When Meldrick Taylor was you could say that he was winning the fight. He was doing his thing. But Chavez stood in the fight the entire time, and towards the end of the 12th round, he hurt Meldrick Taylor, and Meldrick Taylor had gotten hurt at the end of the round. Hold on, let me see. Let me find that shit. You know what I mean? It was rated the fight of the year. Chavez was an undefeated up-and-coming Mexican champion and all of that shit. And it looked like, it didn't look like. Meldrick Taylor was up in the fight. He was up in the fight. And he had ended up getting dropped in the 12th round. And, he got up. And all the referee had to do was let the fight continue. And Meldrick would have won because I think the bell was going to ring immediately after the count. But the referee decided to wave it off. He decided to wave it off. And that allowed Chavez to maintain his undefeated record at the time. It kind of reminded me of that. But to be honest with you, man, I don't think this was worse than stoppage. Think that, Tricks. Because I genuinely believe that Rico was spent. I think he was very fatigued. And I think they would have went into the 12th round. Usyk would have stopped him. Says I'm lagging. Let me know if we good, y'all. Lagging. I think we lagging out here in these streets. The rain is pretty bad, so my apologies for that. Tricks. Just to answer Trick's question, if I'm lagging, just let me know. This stoppage was bad. Yeah, Rico and Usyk, and I think a lot of people deemed it as being bad because Rico could have possibly gotten one of the biggest upsets of this era or all time. So I understand people like, fuck, like, damn, imagine what if he would have got through the 12th round? Yeah, I get it. But even with those scorecards I saw, it looked like they were setting Usyk up to win anyway. But this is what these martial artists that are transitioning over to boxing got to understand, right? The politics of boxing is going to do everything they can to make sure that you do not beat that guy. You feel what I'm saying? They're going to do whatever they can to make sure you do not beat that guy. Why? Because if you beat that guy, you're fucking up their money. But if they beat you, then their profile goes up. Their star power goes up, right? So Usyk, you know what I mean? Usyk and them, they was trying to get a little payday, do a little crossover fight. But y'all got to understand, these kickboxers, MMA guys, Francis Ngannou's, all these guys that are fighting, Conor McGregor's, the ones that fought these top, level boxers, they're going to do whatever they can to fuck you over. Because they done built this motherfucker up for so long and generate so much money off of this guy. They know that you don't have the longest future in the sport of boxing. They know that boxing is not your forte. So most likely, you're not gonna do too much in the sport. You're just doing this for a paycheck. So because you're just doing this for a paycheck and don't have a long-term, you know, career in that field, they just going to treat you like an opponent. They're gonna pay you, but I mean they don't want you to win. And these fighters got to understand that. If you're not knocking these guys out, they're not gonna give you that fight. They're not gonna give you that win. You gotta earn that shit. You feel me? So I mean, when you taking these motherfucking paydays, understand that most likely that shit gonna come with an L attached if you don't spark that man. And Ngannou should understand that. Rico should understand that. Everybody moving forward should understand that. There was no way that they was gonna let Rico walk away with that W. We seen it on them scorecards they put together. We seen that shit on the motherfucking. We seen that shit on how the way the referee responded. That referee knew how much time was left on the clock. You hear that 10-second bell. He decided to stop that shit because Usyk finally had a moment. And he don't know if Usyk gonna get that moment again in the next round. So let me go ahead and stop this shit so we can secure the boxer getting the victory. That's just how I take it. That's just how I experienced it. Trick said, I wonder if the ref had an earpiece to call the fight. No, but he looking at them niggas. Bro, they be communicating, man. They got an understanding. You feel me? The ref, they don't need to have an earpiece. I'm sure we would have seen the earpiece. But they looking, because there's conversations that's had between these guys. They know each other. They know what the main objective is. They looking over. They're constantly communicating, even if it's with the eyes. A lot of our communication as humans is nonverbal anyway. You get an understanding, but you could get an idea of what a motherfucker thinking by them just looking at you. Especially if y'all colleagues, y'all co-workers, whatever the case is. You can look at a motherfucker and tell, I mean, when you're supposed to do something, when they irritated, you know what I mean? When they want you, they got certain signals to let you know exactly what it is that you need to be doing. Remember Turkey helped Shiraz in the corner with the scorecards? Yeah. Don't get it fucked up. Turkey not this. If y'all did y'all research on Turki Alalshikh and who he is and what he's done in the past, even like I think he like renamed him. He did a whole rebrand, changed his whole name and all. It's like, you know, this nigga not no fair nigga. Ain't none of these niggas in boxing fair. They about their money. These niggas have motives. They have agendas, and they gonna do whatever they can to protect that shit. So if that means fucking Rico over to keep building up Usyk to do bigger, more entertaining fights, they gonna do that. They gonna do that. Shout out to my boy ETC in the building. So, do I think that Usyk would have stopped him in the 12th round? Yeah, I think Usyk would have just lit him the fuck up. You know what I mean? Usyk always got stronger in the later rounds. You feel me? Or at least kept the same energy in the later rounds. He looked like he was a bit undertrained, but you know, Usyk been doing this for a long time. He know when to turn that shit up. I think he would have stopped Rico in the 12th round, but we should have been given that opportunity to see that. I think Rico deserved that because going in, everybody thought he was going to get sparked early. Everybody thought that he was going to lose. They thought he ain't have a fucking chance in hell in doing what he did tonight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Rico, man. His stock just went through the roof because everybody and their mama is still saying, man, I don't care what nobody say. Rico won. Well, I'm not going to be the one to say that because the reality is he didn't win. But he made a good showing of himself. Usyk just gave this motherfucker a few more paydays to get in the bag. Because when Ngannou fought Fury, guess what? That shit opened it up to a whole new payday. AJ shut that shit down. Shout out to AJ. But now Rico's about to be getting all these opportunities. Don't be surprised if Rico fights a fucking what look like Fury and AJ going to be occupied with each other. The end of this year. Don't be surprised if Daniel Dubois and Rico end up fighting each other or some shit like that. Don't be surprised. Rico going to get another big opportunity if he doesn't rematch Usyk. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in the building. I'm seeing y'all comments. I'm just trying to get this out. Fighting Wilder. Yeah, Wilder versus Rico would be a good fight. Why not? I think Wilder deserves that big payday before it's all said and done. I think they'll cash him out. You know what I mean? Bella Faith in the building. What's going on, Bella? Bella says, shout out to Sanchez, straight stepped on Torres. That was bad, bro. That knockout looked exactly like Jermell Charlo when he knocked out Lubin. Same setup. He froze the same way. He dipped over to the same side. Looked like it was damn near placed in the same area as well. That was a nasty knockout, man. Nasty knockout. He went out the same way he did in the Olympics. That shit was crazy. And, you know, we criticize Eddie Reynoso a lot. You already know I'm not too fond of him, but he literally called for that shot. And that shot was on the money, man. So you got to give Eddie Reynoso credit. That was great instructions. I literally heard him say verbatim. He's trying to come in, jab, jab, shoot that uppercut off of that double jab. Fried him. So I don't know if Eddie Reynoso saw a tendency that Richard Torrez had, that he kept dipping over to that side, just running him into the shot. But goddamn, he went to sleep. That boy went to sleep. Holy shit. I'm not going to shit on Richard Torrez, though. I wasn't too fond of his comments that he made about him and Jared Anderson. Oh, you know, we're friends, but talking all that friend shit, that Shakur Keyshawn stuff. I wasn't too fond of that at all. But I'm not going to kick Richard Torrez while he's down. This is an unfortunate situation. He's a good dude. He seems like a stand-up dude, and he rolling the dice. You know what I mean? Which a lot of motherfuckers don't do. You feel me? He's actually taking these opportunities. He ain't have to fight Frank Sanchez, bro. Let's keep it real, man. Even when no fights was he wrong. We don't even know if he showed out in that one. And I still think, you know, hopefully Torres bounces back mentally after this. Not to be funny, he's been through it before in the amateurs, so I'm sure he'll be able to overcome this one as well. You know, I think he'd be all right, man. I think he'll still be an uncomfortable style for a lot of these guys to deal with. But now Frank Sanchez moves up in the rankings, man. And he may possibly get a title eliminator type of fight, or, you know, whatever's available, man. Frank Sanchez, Daniel Dubois is a good fight. Frank Sanchez, you know, Fabio Wardley. You know, Fabio Wardley want to jump straight into the smoke. You know, Cabia already defeated Frank Sanchez. Cabia's on to the next. But there's a lot of fights that you could mix up, you know, Frank Sanchez and they'll be bangers, man. You know, shout out to Frank Sanchez. He did his thing. Eddie Reynoso called out a beautiful shot. So, you know, shout out to them. They got the job done. And I seen there was a little controversy backstage. Bomac didn't like something about the wraps. I guess he felt like I think what had happened was they put the padding below the knuckles. So he's like, yo, why are y'all putting the padding below the knuckles? The knuckles are right here. So it was a bit of a problem. You know, I don't think that they made him rewrap or anything like that. So I guess they got it resolved. But shit, that was ugly, man. That was an ugly knockout. That's one of the knockouts of the year for sure. But, you know, you got to, like, Richard Torres, the fact that he was out like that, he still was trying to get up. That kid got heart, man. That kid got heart. A lot of motherfuckers would have just been there drowsy on the bitch. Ain't even try to get up. Richard Torres was trying to get up, man. So go look back on that Jermell Charlo, Erickson Lubin knockout. And then go look at that knockout with Frank Sanchez and you know, Richard Torres. Damn near the same shot, same setup, everything. And they both responded not so well to that shot. So for those of y'all who have trouble fighting southpaws, I mean, that might be something that can help you, man, because there's a little tendency I'm seeing there with southpaws. They freeze up off that jab, and it seems like they lean over to that left side when somebody's coming in behind the orthodox jab. If a southpaw has that tendency, they may be susceptible to that shot. So if you are a southpaw, make some adjustments to y'all defense, man. Y'all don't want to go out like no Lubin. Y'all don't want to go out like no Torres, bro. Tighten up out here in these streets, man. Trick said, what does this mean? David Benavidez. So does this mean David Benavidez is the best American heavyweight? That's hilarious. He's not a heavyweight, but you know, that is something funny to talk about. I've been hearing this is up and coming American heavyweight. And you know, it's too early to tell, to be honest with you, man. So I'm not gonna really speak on that. But there is this kid. He just fought on Zuffa recently, and a lot of people are giving him a whole lot of credit. Don't really know too much about him, but let me see if I could find him. He just fought on Zuffa not too long ago. Was it Brandon Moore? Or was it Price Taylor? It was one of them. Nah, Price Taylor was the one who just got that. Price Taylor had just gotten that knockout a couple weeks ago. But yeah, they say he was sparring Wilder and shit like that. There's some guys, man. But yeah, American heavyweight's been cooked since like the early 2000s, to be honest with you, man. Wilder was the one who actually brought back the American heavyweight. He gave us a lot of great moments, but now it seems like we in a slump again. And the reason why the American heavyweight is struggling to exist at this point in time is because because them guys is playing different sports, man. Got motherfuckers like LeBron James playing basketball, motherfucking guys like Jordan Malata, they playing football. These guys could have easily been heavyweight fighters if they applied themselves to it. But, boxing isn't as big as it once was. And I think one of the reasons why is because of the bullshit that we just experienced today between Usyk and Rico Verhoeven. The politics really discourages a lot of guys from partaking in that. And there's politics everywhere, but it seems like it's so much more blatant in boxing. You know what I mean? And considering how dangerous it is, maybe that's another reason. So, it is what it is, man. We're going to hopefully, there's a resurgence in boxing and some of these athletic heavyweights that are playing in football, baseball, basketball. Hopefully they take a chance with boxing. Because a lot of these dudes, when basketball don't work out, then they want to be boxers. Nah. It'd be too late by that point. They're already in their mid-30s, all that. And it's never too late for anybody, let's be clear. But, yeah, by that time, you done lost so many good years. Now you got to play catch-up and, motherfuckers already done lapped you. So it's hard to overcome that experience gap. Josue Hernandez said, yo, Mark, while Turkey probably does the rematch between Usyk and Rico, Caballero should take that belt away from Dubois. Well, that'd be a great fucking fight, bro. Holy shit. I don't know, man. It seemed like Caballero is just pressed on getting that Usyk opportunity. I don't think he's gonna do what Joseph Parker did and just be like, I'm gonna just take this stay busy fight in the meanwhile and end up losing his opportunity. He's a WBC interim champion. From what I understand, the WBC is about to order it soon. And Usyk gave him his word that he'll fight him. So would you give Daniel Dubois that opportunity when he just beat the shit out of Fabio Wardley and possibly lose your opportunity? Because Caballero do get hit a lot, man. He be getting hit clean, too. And I don't know if Caballero wants to figure out whether he could take Daniel Dubois power yet when he could just jump straight into the Oleksandr Usyk fight. Choices. You know what I mean? You got to be strategic. You got to be smart with how the way you move in this game. Because if he go ahead and he fight Daniel Dubois spark him, which I don't think will happen, but, let's say it does. Now you just lost that whole opportunity. Now you just lost that whole opportunity. So I think Caballero going to stand his ground and wait for that Usyk opportunity to come around. And to be honest, he deserves it. He deserves it, man. He got some good wins under his belt, man. He done been through the fire. You know what I'm saying? So let that man get that Usyk fight. That's something that we've been calling for a while. I see some people saying that they don't really care to see that fight. That's not a fight that they want to see. Bro, y'all a damn fool. If y'all watching Caballero, y'all seen him get all these victories. You know what I'm saying? He beat the shit out of Frank Sanchez, beat the shit out of Julie Zhang. You know what I mean? He out here folding niggas up. Why wouldn't you want to see him get that opportunity? Who deserves an opportunity more than Caballero? I can't really name any heavyweights right now that deserve it more than Caballero. Dubois already lost to him twice. AJ already lost to him twice. Fury already lost to him twice. What we doing? Wilder? Do we really want to see Wilder, past his prime going up against Usyk when he didn't impress in that Derek Chisora fight? I don't know. Definitely wouldn't care to see that. Shout out to my boy Lorenzo with the $2 super chat. He said, "Yo, what I missed? Usyk was getting cooked. Definitely was getting worked over, brother. That's that. Yeah. That's definitely what was going on. But you know, the politics of boxing was waiting for Usyk to create an opportunity, and once he did, they found their way. They made their entrance. That's what it looked like to me. Granted, I think Usyk would have stopped him in the last round, but what if he didn't? What if Usyk punched himself out and Rico gets through that round? Or maybe he gets beat up that round, but he gets through that round. He doesn't get stopped. Then what? What if Rico goes back to his corner after that 11th round, recovers, and is feeling all right in the 12th round? Looks like the scorecards would have fucked over Rico anyway, but you know what I mean? You never know. Maybe Rico hurt Usyk. Maybe he drops Usyk. You never know. And I hate the fact that this happened because there's so many different, because this boxing at the end of the day, you never know. You know what I mean? When you get controversial stoppages like this, now motherfuckers just want to create all these different hypotheticals. What if? We'll never know. That's why sometimes you just gotta let these fights play out and not involve yourself. Trick said, Mazuma, do you think Turkey is truly saving boxing or hurting boxing? I've seen him do a little bit of both. Like I said, seen Turkey save boxing, better be Fury, Usyk. He gave a shit. Hello, we would have ever seen that fight if it wasn't for Turkey. So he's put on some, he stood up for boxing and gave us fights. You know what I'm saying? That maybe would have, evaporated if it wasn't for him. You know what I mean? And we probably just would have been saying, what if living in fantasy land because motherfuckers was too scared to put the bread up. But I've also seen Turkey make boxing. It seems like there's times where Turkey is more invested in the entertainment side of boxing in comparison to the sport of boxing, like the sport in itself. It seems like he rather do more entertaining shit. It's like he's more invested in making spectacles rather than just keeping boxing in its purest form, the best fighting the best. You know what I mean? Being in well-known stadiums, arenas, shit like that. I mean, everything about Turkey he just wants it to be a show. Like motherfuckers was fighting outside a pyramid. And it was a dope little setup. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a StreamYard create an image of the background. So take a look at. You know what I'm saying? So that was a dope little view. That's probably one of his best setups thus far. But I really feel like that's extra. I think that's necessary. I think it's unnecessary. But what Turkey's trying to do is create like this spectacle, right? To get the casual boxer fan to be like, "Yo, this is a dope event. Like I'm loving this event. Like I want to go out and check out one of these Saudi events." You know what I mean? Their main objective is getting tourists. That's all it is. Rebranding their country, making it the new entertainment capital of the world, and getting tourists to come over and see what the hype is about. So, you know what I mean? I've seen Turkey do some shit to save that has saved boxing, especially on his come up. And I've seen him do some things that, from a certain viewpoint could say that hurt boxing. You know what I'm saying? And some people fuck with it. Some people don't. There's been times where I've backed Turkey's play. There's been times where I've been against Turkey play. He not the perfect man. You feel what I'm saying? But I appreciate the positives that he does. Like if he goes ahead and he makes Usyk Kabiel, great fucking fight for the sport of boxing. Love it. You know what I mean? He just made Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson not too long ago. I love it. Great job. Had a simple, I think that was a Turkey card. You know what I'm saying? Like he doing some great shit. If he makes Benavidez versus Bivol, great shit. We'll see. We'll see. Wasn't Turkey supposed to do some shit on Alcatraz? That's what I heard, but it's like I didn't really understand that. But I think David Benavidez has said some shit about that. He's like, nigga, I ain't trying to fight in no fucking Alcatraz. But yeah, Turkey, he's thinking bigger than boxing. He wants to enhance the entertainment aspect when it comes to boxing. It's almost like he wants it to be just as entertaining than it just being a sport. He wants the entertainment and the sport to be basically equal. That's why he was having Eminem perform and all this extra shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think you can have a fair balance of both without really interfering with boxing. You had to take a ferry to get there too. Yeah. I think that shit right off the coast of San Francisco or some shit like that, right? Like, who the fuck want to do that? But I guess when you got Saudi money, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers just be they done did everything. Them rich niggas be bored. There was this multi-millionaire boy. He was old, man. He used to just come into my job and just talk all day. Done seen it all, did it all, accomplished everything that you could accomplish. Motherfuckers just be sitting there bored just talking to us. And I remember the motherfucker told me one time, he's like, you know why I like coming here? Because y'all treat me like a human being. Multi-millionaire. So I think when and I said all of that to say maybe Turkey just be like looking to do extra shit to just stimulate himself. Because it's like, motherfucker done did everything. He got all the money in the world. He's not needed for anything. Maybe this is what adds to his excitement in life. I don't know, man. My boy Tricks in the building said we might not see the Bivol fight next because the WBO ordered Bivol to fight Callum Smith next. Would you still like the Better Be fight or Jai Opetaia? I want to see David. Yeah, I did hear something about the WBO interfering and all that shit. But man, listen, when you're inactive and you have obligations as a world champion, one thing about the mandatories, they gonna pile up. Callum Smith, maybe that's, and I ain't gonna make no accusations, of course, because they never really disclosed exactly what Callum Smith's injury was. But maybe, just maybe, I'm just putting my conspiracy theory hat on. Maybe he heard through the grapevine in the lead up to the David Morrell fight that the WBO was planning on ordering him versus Bivol. And probably Callum and his team sat down and was like, are we really about to fight David Morrell and take that chance when, the fight he might win the fight? This was prior to him getting stopped. And I think that version of David Morrell would have lost to Callum Smith, to be clear. But, at the time, David Morrell was viewed as dangerous and, all of that. So maybe he was like, are we really about to take this chance with David Morrell? Or should we fall back off of this fight, wait for that WBO mandatory to be ordered, and we just go ahead and go straight into the Bivol fight? Just a conspiracy theory. I do not know anything definitively, but I would not be surprised if that's what happened. Because they never... Ralph, I'm not saying it definitively. I'm just thinking. That's just where my mind goes. That's just me thinking. But I wouldn't be surprised. And guess what? I know for a fact people have done that before. I know for a fact fighters we know and we talk about have pulled out of fights because they heard a bigger opportunity was at bay. Wouldn't be surprised. We're gonna go ahead because Callum Smith is a matchroom fighter. Eddie Hearn understood that David Morrell is very dangerous. That's why he didn't want to line him up with Ben Whitaker. He's like, no, like he let as man, Ben's not ready. Nigga said that. He said, man, Ben's not ready. Like, we still building. Like, Morrell, we not about to take that fight last minute. I mean, David Morrell too dangerous for that. So maybe he was approaching it the same way. Are we about to really fight David Morrell when the WBO at any minute could order our guy versus Bivol? We're going to go straight into that unification fight because Bivol has multiple belts outside of the WBC. Callum Smith, go for it. Why not? Why not? I think Callum Smith and his team been moving real calculated. What happened with him and David Benavidez? They were supposed to fight. I remember that shit. I remember Benavidez was locked in on that fight. He was trying to grab Callum Smith's regular title so he could be a mandatory in the WBO as well. He ain't fight him. He ain't fight him. They fell back off of all of that. And Yard took the smoke. Y'all remember that? I know I do. T said, what was the verdict, Mazuma, Rico, or Usyk? Who you thought was winning? It was I really wasn't watching it, the score, but for me, it felt like Rico was up. Like Usyk was catching up and shit. And he was having a lot of moments. Usyk was having a lot of success when he was, just poking with the jab. And when Rico tried to counter over the jab, Usyk could take that step back and counter him. Like he was having a lot of success there, but Usyk just looked flat, man. Like I seen him throw an uppercut. It was all lethargic, and it just made me feel like Usyk wasn't fully prepared, or he lost a step. I don't know which one it was, but I felt like Rico had the edge. I felt like Rico had the edge. But once I seen him get hurt, I was like, oh shit. I looked at that clock. I seen it said 15 seconds, but the clock is winding down as they're doing the count. That was tough. I mean, that's tough. Like I seen some people only get 2 rounds. That's not a bad score. We'll keep it real. That ain't a bad score because Rico was on him, man. Rico was on him. He was not playing with Usyk, bro. He wasn't letting Usyk get comfortable at all. He was on him. T said I had a 7-3 Rico before the stoppage. You're not the only one I heard say that, brother. So you may not be too far off. Like I said, I wasn't watching at the score, but just having a feeling for what I was watching, I felt like Rico was up. But politics stepped in right away. It was like, nope. Yeah, Rico was hurt. He ran into a nasty uppercut, and he went down. He got up, but he was hurt. He was visibly hurt, and it was like 1 second left on the clock in the 11th round, and the referee waved it off. Y'all not watching Ray J versus Super? Why the fuck would I watch that? This nigga Ray J boxing. Bro, how many of these niggas is struggling financially that these niggas just became boxers? And I seen Ray J boxing, Super Hot Fire, bro. This nigga's trash. I don't even know. That nigga Super Hot Fire be talking so greasy. Super trash. You would think this nigga could fight. Nigga can't fight to save his life. The nigga say he ain't a rapper, nigga. You ain't a fighter neither, nigga. Keep it real. You really not. Super dookie. Ray J, this nigga, he must be having some type of financial issues, bro. You couldn't tell Ray J back in the day to box for bread. Nigga, I got one wish. What the fuck I'm gonna sit here and box niggas for? What the fuck? Then I'm seeing Johnny Manziel, his dope fiend ass. Look like he coked the fuck out. About to box. Who else? Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley, what the fuck you boxing for, bro? I could tell you ain't never throw a punch in your life. Never. Not from a competitive standpoint. Trash. Who else? There's a lot of trash ass niggas. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was like, bro, all these niggas. Oh, Lance Stevenson. Like, what the fuck? The fuck is we even doing out here in these streets, bro? This shit crazy. Like, this shit hitting y'all niggas bad. Like this economy, and trust me, we all feeling that shit. Let's not get it fucked up. But bro, these niggas need that money now. Aiden must be paying out some bread that make a lot of sense. Yeah, did I speak on Richard Torres? Yeah, I spoke about it. I spoke about it. Um, yeah, like I said, man, I mean, he got stopped in 2 rounds, so there's no need to really do like this in-depth breakdown or anything like that. Looked like Richard Torres was attempting to close the gap. Frank Sanchez froze him up with a jab. He leaned over to his left side, ran right into Frank Sanchez, right uppercut, looked like it cracked him dead on the temple. He went out. He went out, man. And like I said, I'm not gonna shit on Richard Torres. I know a lot of people personally that fuck with Richard Torres. They good friends of his, and they always said that he was a stand-up dude. He a cool brother. You feel me? So I ain't gonna make fun of him or nothing like that. Like I said, I have been critical of him for that brother statement with Jared Anderson, and he was like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, we friends, and you know what I mean? Like, oh, we could fight later down the line, but there's no need in us fighting right now." And I just didn't like that response. But overall, Richard Torres got a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of heart. So, I mean, much respect to him off of that. I hope he bounced back. And somebody else asked me what's next for Torres. I seen that comment. My boy Justin Jackson asked me what's next for Torres. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, obviously he got a rest. You know what I mean? Because that was a brutal knockout. But yeah, you need to get back in the gym, change up, go back to the drawing board, switch up some things, switch up some defensive tendencies so that doesn't happen again. This could make him a better fighter. As ironic as that sounds, going through these type of situations could tighten you up and make you realize that there's a lot of room for improvement. It's all about your mentality. Now, if and like I said, Richard got slept in the Olympics, and he was able to bounce back from that. You know what I mean? Because I guess the pros gave him a clean slate to work, but now he experienced it in the pros. So, you know what I mean? With that, and that's your first loss. That's like a devastating way to pick up your first loss. So it's all about your mentality. How you going to bounce back from this situation? You know what I mean? No pun intended. You got to take this one on the chin and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see, man. Richard Torres probably ain't going to box for the rest of the year. Probably won't fight. And if he does fight this year, it's probably going to be late 2026. Because I'm sure Top Rank doesn't want to take that chance and further damage the kid. You feel me? But his first fight back should be a bounce back fight. Give him a little, you know what I mean? Give him a little turkey or whatever the case is, and getting back on the winning column, restore his confidence, getting back in the mix, and then from there, you know what I mean? Start getting him right. But I always felt like Richard Torres was a small heavyweight, man. He's probably a cruiserweight, to be honest with you, with the right nutritionist and all that. But he's always gonna have them issues just because he's an undersized heavyweight. That's why he has to maul guys and make it uncomfortable because when he's fighting these bigger guys on the outside like that, it's a very dangerous game for him. And obviously, he doesn't respond too well by getting hit by flush heavyweights and the amateurs or the pros. You know what I mean? He not durable enough to get hit clean by these heavyweight guys. So maybe cruiserweight would be a better situation for him. Possibly. I don't know. He said Torres got slept in the Olympics. Pull it up. I mean, it's all over Twitter, brother. Like you could. I'm not gonna put it up here because it's gonna make it sound like I'm shitting on him. But if you look it up, I mean, you'll definitely see it. Damn. Somebody just got slept on that. Somebody just got slept at that Aiden Ross event. I'm scrolling through Twitter right now, seeing people make PED allegations towards Frank Sanchez. I ain't never seen him that ripped up. All right. Hmm. He said, so you are about to watch Ray J versus Super Hot fight? No, bro. Not at all. I was scrolling through Twitter and I see one of them videos on my timeline. How can I even watch if I did want to watch it? Where they be streaming on? I see a lot of people criticizing Bomac too, man. They talking crazy about Bomac, man. Basically, every fighter he got outside of Bud be getting cooked and shit. So now they want to talk crazy. Jay said, why they not talking about Bomac coaching like they did Bozy? I was just seeing it on my timeline. They definitely talking about it. But when it was Bozy, whoo, they was frying Bo. But I don't know. Mio Pera says, no trainer can't avoid being knocked out. Period. You could stretch out all day and tighten up the ball, get hit with a clean shot, and then fall. That's outside of the trainer's control. All you can do is get the fighter prepared. You know what I mean? You can give them the right game plan. You know what I'm saying? And hope for the best. Your main objective as a coach, bro. You could be the greatest coach on earth, bro. All of these all-time great coaches that we talked about had fighters that got knocked out. Name them. Name them. Angelo Dundee, fucking Custody Amato, Emmanuel Stewart. They all had fighters get knocked out. He said, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. The fuck? Who is this nigga talking to? Who you talking to, bro? You must not know how we do shit around here. Who you talking to? Answer wisely, brother. My boy Justice said, keep it real, Mark. Who you got? Albert Bell or Andy Cruz? I gotta study up Albert Bell just a little bit more, but I'm rocking with Andy for sure. Yeah, somebody pack this nigga. Go talk to your mother like that. Weird ass nigga. I don't give a fuck who he talking to. Yeah, he ain't gonna be talking in my chat like that. Go ahead and pack him. Stupid ass. Motherfuckers not even known in the chat. Feel like they could just say whatever. Fuck out of here. Andy bulked up. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there was a lot of people that was calling for Andy Cruz to go down to 130, but for whatever reason, I guess he felt like that wasn't in his best interest. So I guess he's putting on additional weight to acclimate to the division. I'm not sure. Andy Cruz is not a big guy whatsoever. But one thing I heard, what I've been hearing from him training and shit like that, they said he got a different mentality now. And that shit got him locked in now more than ever. So we'll see. We'll see against Albert Bell. You know what I mean? Let's look at Albert Bell real quick. Because a lot of people claim that he's heavily avoided and he is a bit up there in age, to be honest with you, but don't got the biggest knockout ratio, but he is undefeated. 6 foot lightweight, long reach. He fighting guys with like solid records and shit like that, but nobody really notable. Probably because he was heavily avoided, but regardless, this is definitely going to be a big step up for Albert Bell. We're going to see exactly how good he is. But I'm going to study Albert Bell a little bit more, but I'm all in with Andy Cruz. I'm rooting for him. Taller can box. Yeah, it's interesting. But Andy Cruz, he may not be as tall, but he's a world level boxer as well. So should be a good chess match. I told Bozy Camp I got some Derek Moore will be really good work for Andy Cruz to get ready for Albert Bell, but they never hit me back, so guess not. Andy Cruz back-to-back tough fights. Yeah. I mean, we got to see if Albert Bell's a tough fight. We don't know yet. Andy Cruz versus Loma, that's a good one. But it seemed like Loma said that Loma said he wants Emmanuel Navarrete. Who was it? Who else he said? He said Loma's looking at like an Emmanuel Navarrete fight and Gervonta Davis or some shit like that. Who was it that he said he wanted? Yeah. So he said that he coming back, but he only coming back for the big fights. So he said Emmanuel Navarrete, Tank, and I think they mentioned Shakur Stevenson name as like a backup option. So, I mean, he called out a guy who's champion at 35, a unified champion at 30 now, and a champion at 140. So it seemed like Loma gonna go wherever the opportunity presents itself at. Loma's already fought at 135, very undersized for 135. But you know, the motherfucker is willing to go up to 140 to fight them. Hey, it is what it is. Because for real, like I don't really see Shakur coming down. I don't think he's going back down to 35. If he was adamant about going back down to lightweight, he would have been vacated that title. But he keeping that title for a reason. Shakur definitely plans on being there. Let me see. J-Day said, how do you feel about the WBA mandate and Tank versus Austin? I mean, it's about time. They should have been ordered that. They should have been ordered that. You know, Schofield's been rocking with the WBA so long, you would have think they'd have did the motherfuckers a favor and ordered the fight. But you know, they had stripped Tank momentarily, and you know, Schofield was supposed to fight Lucas Body for the vacant belt, but then they gave the belt back to Tank and all this crazy shit. It's like, bro, the WBA got to make up their mind. How you want to take a belt and give it back to them? God. It's like, once y'all motherfuckers make a move, man, y'all should just stick by it. But, you know, I guess they love Tank over there for whatever reason. And, you know, I just don't see Tank responding well to an order from the WBA, because I remember when they tried to do that when Devin Haney had the WBA. It was like Devin Haney and them was like, yo, can y'all make Tank my mandatory since he's the WBA regular champion? So they went ahead and tried to do it. Tank and them let them know, bro, we gonna do shit how the fuck we want to do it. Y'all niggas don't like it. You know what I mean? Y'all could take this belt. You know what I mean? And WBA was like, you know what? We're gonna keep this motherfucker at a regular champion. Once Devin vacated all his titles, they elevated Tank, and it's been like that since then. You know what I'm saying? So if they did order it, shout out to the WBA, but just because they order it doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're gonna fight. You know what I mean? Tank do whatever the fuck he want to do. He let it be known he don't give a fuck about belts. He be saying fuck these belts all the time. So if a belt tell him to go ahead and order something, who's to say he won't say fuck y'all? So we'll see, man. I don't know. I don't really know what exactly was gonna happen with that. But Schofield and them, they talking crazy. They talking super crazy. But Tank should have something coming up soon, because I keep hearing that he's in the gym. I keep hearing that he's training out there in Florida. He's doing his thing, you know, staying active, staying in shape. He probably just waiting for something to get put together. We'll see. But if Tank and Schofield were to win, I think Tank's going to knock Schofield out brutally. Brutally. Unless Schofield hits Tank with some sneaky shit like he did with Tevin Farmer. But I think Tank just a little bit too intelligent for Schofield. I think he'll set him up with a big shot. And I don't know if Schofield gonna be able to take one of them bombs from Tank. You feel me? You getting dropped by, you know, what the fuck was his name? Telez, Renee Telez, that small ass dude who you was a lot bigger than and you had trouble keeping him off you. I don't know, man. Tank definitely not moving on the WBA time. Renee's a puncher though. Okay, bounce back. So imagine this. Imagine because Renee is a puncher. You're right. Now imagine that with speed, accuracy, and IQ. That's Tank. So you dealing with the puncher that you struggle with Jerome Telez, right? But now they added in more devastating attributes on top of that. So you struggle with a mere puncher. Now you gotta deal with that same punching ability with speed, timing, athleticism. It's not a good look, bro. It's really not a good look. So now if you struggling with a motherfucker who just got one quality, who's to say you won't struggle with that same motherfucker who has ring intelligence, speed, and good punch placement, good timing to go along with that power? It's difficult. Now, Schofield may have learned something since then, but I think that Tank will be a bigger lesson to learn. Like you may have learned from that test that, because you could look at Jerome as like a pop quiz. You feel me? Like, all right, you struggle getting through that pop quiz, but you know what I'm saying? If you were to take that test again, you'll probably pass what you probably if you went through that quiz again, you probably pass with flying colors. But this shit right here, this like a fucking exam. This shit like an SAT. Yeah, you might have passed that other test, but this test over here a little bit more difficult. This shit got proctors in the room and all, making sure you ain't cheating, none of that. It's a different level. Schofield been inactive as fuck. Remember, he was supposed to fight JoJo. He was supposed to fight JoJo Diaz. But they pulled out because they had a little boo-boo on their hand. The one thing about my son, he punched hard. JoJo had God on his side. Talking all this bullshit. So they making little AI videos, calling out Tank. All that shit is, all that shit is cool, good promotion, humorous. But as much as y'all posting memes, y'all niggas better be working y'all ass off and can't, because I don't give a fuck who you sparred. I don't give a fuck what y'all did in the amateurs. I don't give a fuck who y'all beat to this point. Tank a different level. Schofield gonna learn the hard way. That's a possibility. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a break real quick, y'all. I'll be right back. Stick with me, y'all. Yo, we back. We back. And we back. And we back. This nigga said Mark taking the shit. That's crazy. You would be the one to say that shit. How'd you know? It's like, no, I'm fucking with you. Definitely was a bathroom break though. You know what I mean? What y'all talking about, man? Let's get into some open topics, man. How we feeling? What we want to talk about? Auntie Skull, what the fuck is you doing? Yeah. They put cream on my son. Yo. Oh my God, bro. Let me know what cream it is that hospitalized you, bro. So I can stay the fuck away. Shit. Let me know. Stop motion. My boy Stop Motion in the building said Fort might pull an upset next weekend. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I don't know. Would it really be an upset though? I got a lot of respect for Raymond Ford. I do think Shaq gonna pull it off though, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm low key pulling for Shaq to pull it off. Just based off of that whole Shakur Stevenson situation, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Like, I don't really like how the way Shakur was handling that Shaq situation. Oh, you gotta fight. Oh, you gotta fight my brother. He calling you out. You claim that don't nobody be wanting to fight you and shit. I remember Shakur was complaining and saying he was gonna retire because motherfuckers ain't want to fight him and nobody was giving him opportunities. Everybody was ducking him. Now you got this nigga, Shaki Foster, who trying to rumble you. He talking about how that niggas could keep your belt and you threatening fighting the nigga outside the ring and you fight my brother Ray. That whole brotherhood shit they got going on, that weirdo shit. And Shaq let it be known, like, yo, when I beat this nigga, I'm coming after you. So I like that mentality. I like when motherfuckers be on the hunt. You know what I mean? They got a chip on their shoulder and all that. So I mean, I fuck with Ray. I mean, shout out Camden. You know what I mean? But I would like to see Shaq pull that off, man. I just don't support that whole little friendship shit they got going on over there. That's all. Stop Motion says Shakur needs a unification at 140. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with Shakur. I think he's just falling back, waiting for the best opportunity to arise. At 135, I mean, him versus Mordetaya, I guess that'd be a good one. Tank ain't looking in his direction. I don't know. And then most likely he's not gonna fight for the WBC because of their situation. So I don't know, man. It look like Shakur a little bit tied up right now. And he seems to be interested in welterweight guys, but doesn't want to move up to fight these welterweight guys. So I don't know, man. I really can't tell you. Nasia said, I want Shock versus Navarrete. Shock been calling them out for years now. Nobody seems to ever mention that fight. I think it's because Navarrete and them ain't never really show any type of optimism towards it. If they make that fight happen, that'd be a fucking bang. I would love to see that. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, Navarrete and them don't want to fight him. Maybe they don't like his style. Maybe they feel like he's, maybe they feel like he's not worth it. I don't know, bro. You know how all these dudes be acting funny with certain fighters. So I wouldn't doubt if it's a stylistic thing. Maybe Top Rank don't want to make the fight happen because they trying to build Navarrete to be like this big Mexican star. Who knows? But if they were to fight, great fight. Shock definitely got to be on point for Navarrete. That motherfucker come to Rumble, fight real ugly, punches be real awkward, unpredictable. You know what I mean? And Navarrete, he pack a punch, bro. So you gotta be careful. Shock like the fight sometimes, man. So you gotta be careful with a motherfucker like Navarrete, because they can hit you with some shit you don't see. He might put together a nice little body shot. Yeah, bro. Oh, we don't need that. Charlie Suarez need that. Yeah, I heard that's what Navarrete gonna do though. I heard he gonna rematch you. Charlie Suarez. That fight was controversial as fuck, man. Suarez should have got the win for that. Cause that was a punch. That wasn't no fucking head, but man. Shakur has been moving funny when it comes to shot. Like whenever I hear like Shakur will tell niggas like Conor Ben, oh, let's just keep it boxing. Let's just keep it boxing. But then you tell the niggas like Dev and Oshaki that you'll fight them outside of the ring. It's like, so why you want to keep it boxing with Conor Ben? Like if you just crash out, why you told Conor Ben when he said that he'll fight you whenever, however, whenever, you tell him, oh, let's just keep it boxing. But when it come to Dev, you was talking about something about his security and how you'll fuck him up because he said something about your mom. After you said something about his dad, you was talking about fighting him outside the ring. You was talking old ass Cam and Mace, niggas who's rappers. You know what I mean? That you'll do something to him outside the ring, and then you telling motherfucking Oshaki Foster you gonna do something to him outside the ring. It's like this shit, these niggas, bro. Worried about the wrong shit. Y'all niggas millionaires. Why the fuck is you talking about fighting niggas outside the ring? I'll never understand that. I think as grown men shouldn't nobody be outside fighting any fucking way. No women, no men. You know what I mean? Unless you absolutely have to. Ain't no reason why you should be picking fights with niggas outside. You know what I'm saying? I don't be getting that shit. Nigga, if I got Shakur money, I got money. You feel what I'm saying? But like obviously I don't have Shakur money. But like at no time am I looking to fight a nigga outside the ring and possibly hurt somebody or get myself hurt. You know what I mean? Niggas throwing civil lawsuits your way. You might be the one who get hurt. Now you gotta catch up on medical bills and all that. Like niggas not trying to do that. I'm trying to protect this money. I ain't about to be partaking in stupid shit and fucking my money up. That's all that fuck that hood rat shit do to you. Is fuck your money up. Getting all emotional and wanting to fight niggas and nah, nigga. It's either you gonna rumble the nigga in the ring for a bag or you not. There's no like I just don't understand why niggas don't tell Core that shit. If you're not gonna fight the nigga, why you acknowledging him? He with Jay Prince and all. Bro, niggas is not worried about that Jay Prince shit, respectfully, bro. Like I understand Jay Prince's reputation and niggas, the mob ties and all that. That's cool. But like, bro, this is a different era, bro. Like niggas do not be worried about Jay Prince, bro. Now, if you down there in Texas, you know what I mean, you gotta tread lightly because that's the crib for them. You feel me? But nigga, if I'm a boxer and I want to fight Shakur, like I'm not worried about no Jay Prince. You feel me? Like I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm trying to rumble. And I'm pretty sure ain't this nigga don't this nigga live in Houston too? Don't Shock live in Houston? So that nigga can't be hard to find at all. I don't think Shock really give a fuck about any of that shit neither. So yeah, I heard they sparred a couple times. They said they sparred a couple times, and Shocky claims he got off on Shakur, and that he was salty about it, and his own team was telling him about it. And Shocky was putting that shit out there in the open for people to know. This nigga Shakur was mad as shit, talking about fighting niggas outside the ring, and let's see if I can find that shit. I always thought that shit was funny. Yeah, back in February. Back in February, you know, because O'Shaquie said some shit about Shakur being terrified and ducking him to chase bigger paydays with guys like T.O. This nigga Shakur was like, he wants to settle the dispute with physical confrontation outside the ring because of the perceived lies. Damn. That nigga Shaq said he'll go to 140 to fight the nigga. Damn. See what I mean? Shakur like to harass niggas for fights, but when niggas harass him for a fight, now he want to fight niggas outside the ring. Shit crazy. Shakur team told Shaq he couldn't sleep without getting a get back. Damn. Stop motion said thoughts on Usyk performance. I mean, we spoke about it already, but like I said, man, it could have been a multitude of things for why, you know, Usyk underperformed. In my opinion, that was definitely him underperforming. Like I said, his physique didn't look like he was in the best of shape. Looked like he looked square. You feel what I'm saying? Looked like he was overweight. Let me see what Usyk's weight was. Let me check BoxRec. What was his weight for this fight? Yeah, he was a few pounds over. Because when you see Usyk fight, it seems like he's in the light 20s. And it looks like he's progressively gotten heavier. But yeah, like if you are having career best performances in the 220 range and then you're fighting in the 230 range, you might have been, maybe he put on a little bit more weight because you know Rico's a big dude, but I don't know, he just didn't look like he was in the best of shape. So that could have been due to him underestimating Rico and not thinking much of him. I think he underprepared. Could be father time because Usyk is 39 years old. I'm thinking he was in his mid 30s whole time. He's 39 years old. So yeah, it could be a little bit of father time in there, him just being on a decline. Or maybe that personal shit that he mentioned about his family being in a fucking bomb shelter in Ukraine, maybe that hindered his ability to focus in the ring. It could be a multitude of things. But what I'm gravitating towards is him. You know, I think he underestimated Rico. I don't think he thought Rico would get as far as he did in the fight. I don't think he thought the fight would be as competitive as it was. So that's what I'm leaning toward. I think he overlooked Rico. I think he underprepared as a result of him overlooking him. But you know what I mean? That shit was a close call. Definitely dodged the bullet. And you know, the politics of boxing, in my opinion, was able to bail him out of that intense situation. Oh yeah, you wildin'. You wildin'. You call a nigga sand. You call him a sand monkey? Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, you definitely gotta go, brother. We don't do that over here. Niggas be on social media now and just be wanting to be so that yeah, like that blatant racism shit. You go do that shit on Twitter or something. I mean, niggas or Instagram, wherever. We not doing that over here. We don't play that shit. Said ex Rudy about the fight. I don't even want to talk to Rudy, man. Rudy be cursing me out every day. I'm cool. Usyk was out of shape and is losing a step, so you think Father Time and him underpreparing. Both can be true. Maybe all three was true. Only Usyk know. But I am peeping this little tendency. that these guys, whenever they doing these crossover fights, they think this is like a scrimmage or something. No, these are sanctioned fights, bro. You have to prepare for him how you prepare for everybody else. I don't understand what the problem is, bro. Like I said, these boxers be treating these fights like how these NBA players be treating all-star games. Oh, this is like it's a day off. No, you gotta work just as hard today than you did yesterday. You feel me? So that's what I be noticing. Stop Moses said these MMA fans clowning us now. Justifiably so. Justifiably so. I can't even be mad at them for talking shit about us. Because why the fuck was that fight competitive? Why was that fight competitive? It shouldn't have been. This should have been easy work. But, you know, when you underprepare and embarrass yourself like that, you got to deal with the criticism that comes. You know what I'm saying? MMA fans are so envious of boxing. It's crazy. I mean, to be fair, MMA has slowed down a bit. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was Conor McGregor just slow, you know, being inactive or whatever the case is, but MMA has lost a lot of traction in the last couple years. I don't know why. I don't know if it's their inability to create stars at this moment. I don't know if it's because their well-known fighters are being inactive. I don't know if it's because lack of pay. I don't know what it is. But boxing, we getting a lot of big fights. We getting a lot of attention. A lot of these MMA guys are coming over to boxing to get paid what they feel like they're worth or catching up on bills after being fucked over so many of their prime years. Like, I don't know, but them MMA fans, bro, they definitely be hating on boxing. Boxing don't never be worried about MMA, but them niggas always worried about us. It lets you know who doing better. Cause I ain't never hating ain't even my thing. But one thing I definitely never did was hate on a nigga I'm doing better than. You feel me? So there's that. You said Rico could beat a lot of heavyweights. I don't think he beats a top focused heavyweight. See, that's what they said about Francis Ngannou. Oh, he'll beat a lot of heavyweights, man. Then when he went in there with AJ, who wasn't fucking playing with him, because AJ watched and he was like, oh, this nigga, he just, okay, he got that. All right, I got him. AJ seen what he did with Fury and was like, shit, you lied to me. You ain't about to do that shit over here. Let me go ahead and take your confidence away. So Rico might have fucked himself over because now whatever boxer he fight next is gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be super ready. And they're gonna make sure Rico don't do that shit he did with Usyk. So I'm telling you, whoever he fight next, they gonna be locked in. They're gonna treat that nigga like he a world champion. You just did that with Usyk? Cool. You call Usyk slipping though. You ain't doing that with me. Yeah, AJ said not on my watch. That's exactly what he said. That he looked at that was a warning shot. He was like, oh, word. Cool. Rico could beat Torres. You know, respectfully, no disrespect to Richard Torres, he never proved to be a top heavyweight. And, you know, Price Taylor not a top heavyweight neither. These guys were, you know, prospects that are transitioning to contenders. I mean, Torres was like a new up and coming, newly labeled contender. Like he's not they're not top heavyweights, to be honest. Especially Price Taylor, he got a little bit more to prove before we start throwing that label on him. T said, did you see what Francis said about the fight? He said they made him come in early and the fight was at 1 a.m. Yeah, I heard him say that a long time ago. Yeah, that is a bit strange. You know what I'm saying? Because you do have to be at the arena at a certain time. Why they made him come in early to fight at 1 a.m, I have no idea. Maybe that was done playing psychological games. But you got to be prepared for that shit, man. You got to be prepared for that shit. And it's like, let's say for instance, Francis Ngannou chose not to come in early. What they gonna do? They gonna cancel the fight and lose that money? I don't think so. So I feel like Francis Ngannou could have just been like, nigga, I'm not coming in that early, bro. Like, no, I'm gonna be here at this time. And let's say for instance, you did come in early. Nigga, you better make sure you got your food with you. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure you staying hydrated. You know what I mean? Whatever you doing outside to fully prepare, you can do that shit at the arena as well. If you listening to music, make sure you bring your, you know what I mean, your tunes and all that. You gotta make the arena your home until it's time for you to rumble. Man, there really ain't no excuse on Francis Ngannou. He can make all the excuses in the world. But let's say for example, the fight's at 1 a.m, right? But let's say like, oh, you gotta be in at 6. No, I'm not doing that shit. Probably be here at like 8:30, 9. I ain't doing that for what? Oh, you gotta come in or we gonna cancel the fight. Y'all niggas not doing that shit. Y'all ain't fucking that money up. You tripping. Too much money out here to nigga, y'all on my terms. Like Floyd Mayweather, right? I remember when they was like, oh, there was some white lady was telling Floyd, she probably was like a coordinator or whatever. It's like, oh, you gotta walk out. You walking out in 5 minutes. And Floyd was like, no, I'm gonna walk out when I want to walk out. Oh, well, make sure you walk by 8:15. And Floyd was like, I ain't walking at 8:15. I'm gonna walk at 8 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta let them like, and if you one of the stars of the show, if you the reason why this event is ongoing and bringing all this attention, don't be letting these motherfuckers tell you when you gonna do shit, how you gonna do shit, nigga. This my motherfucking show. I'm tripping. Take 2 to tango out this motherfucker. Y'all niggas better respect me. Stop Motion said Price Taylor is getting stopped as soon as he fights a club fighter with a winning record. A club fighter with a winning record. Price definitely got some work to do, man. You know, he mean. You know what I mean, he punch hard, good killer instinct and all that, but you know, there ain't nothing really about Price Taylor right now that I'm seeing that's making me think like, oh man, this motherfucking future. Not like Moses. Like when I see Moses at the time, I'm like, this nigga's a fucking animal. Like ain't nothing that kid can't do. That says to me, he claimed he was tired. Well, nigga, you should have rested, nigga. I seen Canelo fall asleep. When he fought Sergey Kovalev, I seen that nigga fall asleep on the sofa, nigga. If you really tired, you fall asleep anywhere. Nigga, I fall asleep right here if I'm really tired. I'll be on my Greg Hackett shit. Do y'all Googles on what? Punching and looking away, left hook waiting to happen. Greg had a 9-hour stream one time. I remember I was about to do a stream like that, but they took my stream down and banned me for going live for a week because I had like shared the screen of the live stream on YouTube of a fight on the live stream. They flagged my shit, bro, gave me a strike, banned me from going live for a week. So I was one day I'm gonna do a live like that. One day I'm gonna do just like an all day live. But I'm a busy motherfucker, man. So it'd be tough to do that. A lot of the weekends I'm with my son. And if I'm not with my son, I'm working. I'm at an amateur event. I'm doing something. Or a motherfucker just resting, bro. After a long week, bro. Like when you really, I'm gonna tell you niggas something. When y'all really working, bro, like Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday. My hardest days be Monday through Thursday. Friday, sometimes a lot of motherfuckers don't come in. I just be chilling. You feel me? And they be burnt out from training Monday through Thursday. And I ain't into overtraining motherfuckers. So I let them get the day off. And then like on a Saturday, I had them do they little whatever. Bro, I be so burnt out from the week that during the weekend, bro, I don't be having no energy to go nowhere and do anything, bro. Y'all niggas call me an old head all y'all want. But like, bro, I just be trying to recover. Then I got my son energetic as hell. He a lot to keep up with. You feel me? So it's like, shit, at least give me Sunday. I'm just trying to rest all day. Let me recharge. People don't be understanding that shit sometimes. Like, oh, you want to go do this? You want to go out? You want to do this? You want to go shop? No, I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do none of that. I want to rest. They look at you like you the old head, like something wrong with you, like you not fun. Like, bro, if it's like that, then you ain't gotta be around me. You ain't gotta be around me, bro. I'm not for everybody. Go pick some friends that I mean that don't work so hard. That always got energy to be doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll be bored. I'll go have some fun then. Niggas be worried. I don't know, bro. Like niggas be just be want to have. Niggas just be want to have fun all the time. I don't really care to be having fun, nigga. I'm building something. Feel me? I'm trying to set up my life. I'm on these streams every day, just building so I could get where the fuck I want to go. Nobody want to fucking have fun all the time. What the fuck is we celebrating, nigga? We poor. Fuck, like the fuck is we partying for, nigga? We poor. We trying niggas bitching about gas prices, nigga. Like nobody trying. What are we celebrating? I don't even drink. I don't do none of that shit. Like what the fuck? Yeah, working, watching boxing, absolutely. Work, eat, sleep, shit, watch boxing, repeat. Facts. That's what I'll be on. You feel me? Like I don't mind going out here and there, but like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really like stepping outside my routine. And I like to be home. I'm at peace. I love being here. When I move out this joint, it's gonna be a sad day for me because I genuinely love being here. This is my home. I look forward to coming home every night. This is where I'm at peace. I don't really like to step outside of my peace. Yeah, people want to go out all the time, either broke, I don't like their house. Yeah, a lot of the time they don't be liking their house. Shit, I'm gonna make this motherfucking house a home. You tripping? You know what I'm saying? And if you broke, why you even stepping out? If you broke, you should be ashamed with stepping out. What is we even doing? Nigga, you broke, you about to step out and spend money and be even more broke. How the fuck that work? Junior said, work, school, church, my rotation. Salute. I like that. Nothing wrong with that. Look like you staying productive. My shit, work, gym, father. You know what I mean? Father come first. Father, gym, work. And when I come here, I'll be chopping it up with y'all. I don't really consider this work, but it could feel like it sometimes, especially when boxing slow. But you know what I mean? I'm working. I'm a published author. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking boxing coach. I mean, I'm a hardworking, devoted, consistent, active father. Do all this shit, bro. New book gonna be in the works within the next few months too. He said, "You got a book now? Damn, I've been gone for a minute." Yeah, it's a children's book, brother. It's this right here. Micah finds his words. You know what I'm saying? So for those of y'all who got children, you know what I mean? Your children may have a speech delay. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever the case is, man, this is just like a story based on a true story. Just like me and my son just spending time together and him saying his little words and continuing to progress and get, smarter and stronger every day, man. I've had a lot of people purchase the book. You know what I mean? Shout out to the chat for, purchasing the book. Y'all niggas ain't even got kids and y'all buying the book, man. I really appreciate that. Had a bunch of people from the gym buy books. My sisters, my mother, my father. You know what I'm saying? They all been, putting together, you know, a couple dollars, whatever the case is. The book is only $12. You feel me? So they've been going out of their way, and man, the book came out absolutely beautiful, man. Beautiful book. So it was a great process. It took me a couple weeks to really write it. It took a couple months to like illustrate it and make it look how the way I wanted it to look. So yeah, man, on Amazon right now, Micah finds his words. That book is available for purchase. If y'all want to go ahead and get y'all a book or two, you know what I'm saying? It's dope. You know what I mean? Shout out to the nation in the mob for sure. Yeah, the nation is definitely growing, bro. Hell yeah. And you know what's crazy, bro? Like my subscribers is going up. Like I ain't really doing too much. I just do my lives, all that good shit. And the lives go up every day. The subs go up every day, even if it's one a day. It's getting up there, man. So um yeah, man, I'm proud of what I'm doing. Josue Hernandez said, been here for a minute now. How long you been here, bro? I still feel like you new. Am I tripping or what? Lorenzo said, you use Amazon KDP to publish it. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I put the link. I put the link. Hold on. This is the link right here. Uh, Somebody gave it a 5-star review. I wonder who wrote this. Whoever wrote that, that's dope, man. I just had somebody put a positive review on my book. Amazing children's book, great demonstration of fatherly love. Man, that's dope. That's dope. Whoever wrote that was really nice, man. I really appreciate that. But it's the link right here. So for those of y'all who want to support, shit, I click cut. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. Yeah, right here. I'll take that back. Yeah, so Micah finds his words, man. Dope. It was a lot of fun putting it together. I would have never thought I'd be a published author. Shit is crazy. But man, when you a active, devoted father, make you do a lot of shit that you never thought you'd do. Love make you do some shit that you never thought you'd do, man. I also got a YouTube channel I put together for my son too, but it's all private videos. He's gonna be the only one to have access to it, and you know, it's just like I'm a, this channel is called For My Son Micah, and I put together I don't know how many videos. I put a lot of videos together to be honest. Uh, but it's just like just giving them pointers, giving them advice. Man, so my son, one thing about my son, he gonna know I love him. That's for sure. So it's dope, man. Shout out to the real fathers out there, man. Any last words before I get up out of here, man? Any last questions? Any last words? Any last thoughts, opinions, whatever? Who I want to see Jack Catterall fight next? Man, I want to see him fight for a world title, man. I really do. I want to see Jack Catterall. Yeah, I mean, we could look over the welterweight division and all of that. But, if he could fight Rolly Romero, fight Rolly Romero. If you could get that Devin Haney opportunity, fight Devin Haney. At this point, he's a top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the winner. A rematch on Barboza. That's a bit too rich for him. No. But, he some good fights, man. Jack Catterall. And one thing about him, he ain't ducking no smoke. Her versus Rohan Polanco would be a good fight. You know what I mean? What's up with Liam Paro? He fighting Lewis Crocker. Maybe him. The winner of Lewis Crocker and Liam Paro could fight Jack Catterall. Him versus Rolly. Does Rolly continue to duck his man, though? I mean, well, that's the thing. Giasov was his mandatory, but he just lost to Jack Catterall today. So, shit, he might have just lost that opportunity just altogether. But they elevated Rolly to super champion in the WBA anyway. And from what I understand, super champions in the WBA are exempt from mandatories. So now Rolly going to do whatever the fuck he wants. He don't care. You feel me? So, there's that. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with Rolly moving forward, man. Rolly just going to have to shit. I don't know, man. I still want to see Rolly and Devin fight, though. I really do. I hate the fact that fight fell apart how it did. But if Devin Haney goes ahead and he signs that deal that supposedly he's been negotiating and working on, hopefully they'll put the money behind him to give him his guarantee, and he can go ahead and he can fight Rolly Romero. Neither one of them got fights lined up. So why not do a unification fight in Vegas? It's a great fight. Rolly should retire or some shit. That's funny. That's what Rolly said he doing. He said he retiring. He told Broner and Dean the Great that shit the other day. He said, man, I'm retired. He's like, no, you not. They said Rolly pulled out the fancy 128 box of crayons for dinner after seeing Giasov lose today. That nigga's eating the red one, talking about, fruit punch. Nah, shout out to Rolly, though. He be tripping, bro. Rolly be tripping. That nigga said, fruit punch. Kool-Aid. Yeah, Rolly he be on that shit. Yeah, Catterall, dog, man. He very underrated. I think he's very underrated, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We need to put together a list of most underrated fighters in boxing. You know what I mean? Catterall's on that list, bro. That nigga could fight. He could really fight, bro. I think we should put together a top 10 most underrated fighters in boxing. What y'all think? What y'all think about that, man? I think Liam Paro on that list too. I think he's very underrated too. I mean, he lost to Hitchens, but I won't be surprised if Liam Paro beat Crocker at all. It'd be a 2-division world champion. There was somebody I was talking about, man, and I'm like, yo, this nigga is underrated as fuck. But I forgot who the fuck it was. Who the hell was it? Damn. That would be a good live topic, Ralph. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. If ain't nothing big going on, no crazy news or whatever, I want to put together a most underrated fighter category. We gotta go from 105 if we know them all the way up to heavyweight. Man, we gotta assess every weight class. I mean, who's an underrated motherfucker? Who y'all think is underrated? Who y'all think don't get their credit when they should? Albert Puello? That's a good one. That'd be a good one. Looking forward to him and Dalton Smith though. Sandor, absolutely, absolutely. Sandor Martin, one of the most underrated fighters in boxing for sure. Tacoma Inoue, I feel like he get his credit, but he is in his brother's shadow a little bit. Oscar Collazo, I mean, he's on a lot of people's pound for pound list, but maybe he should be getting more props. But since he's in a smaller weight class, he doesn't. I guess you could see it that way. But Puello, Sandor, I love the fact that they fought each other. That was a great fight. That was a banger. But Sandor Martin definitely on the list. I think Jack Catterall on the list. Uh, I think Brandon Adams. I think he's underrated. Oh man. I think Carlos Adames is better than niggas give him credit for. Aaron McKenna, I gotta watch him a little bit more. You was gonna say Adames. Ralph said he was gonna say Brandon Adams. Yeah, I think that I think he underrated for sure. Man, it's gonna kill me that I don't remember the fucking guy I was talking about. Mm, it's crazy. He said Xander underrated. I mean, he a unified champion, but man, listen, I'll tell you this: he beat Boots. He definitely not gonna be underrated no more. If you feeling like that now, Mike Fox, Mike Fox could box. He's definitely smooth operator for sure. Wish he had power. Yeah, man, you can't have it all. You feel me? But Mike be dropping niggas. I seen him drop Gabriel Maestre. They did him so dirty. They robbed him so bad with Gabriel Maestre, bro. I couldn't believe that shit. That shit was ugly, bro. They robbed Mike a couple times, truth be told. Crazy how they be doing Mike. Shout out to Mike though. We did an interview on the channel before. It's my brother. That's a good guy right there, man. He came up in Philly heavy, so I used to see him all the time. Him and his brother, Alantez. You know, Alantez. You know, he fought Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying? He been around the block. He taller. He taller than Mike too. Mike beat Boachuk. I thought so too, but you know, it wasn't set up for him to win, unfortunately. It was backing Boachuk to do something, but then nigga ran into Brandon Adams and got fried. Then Boachuk just get his ass whooped by Shane Mosley. Who just whooped Boachuk ass? Somebody just whooped Boachuk. I told niggas. I told niggas Boachuk wasn't that good, bro. And once I seen he was going up the middleweight, I'm like, oh yeah. He just took a lot of punishment from Brandon Adams. Now you're going up against Shane Mosley, who got his ass whooped too, but that nigga Shane Mosley, tough motherfucker, bro. Shane Mosley, adorable motherfucker. That's not no nigga that you play with at all. Yeah, whooped him. I said this shit though. I said shit going to yeah, I said some shit. I was like, he gonna yo, Shane Mosley ain't no easy fight for him, bro. Boychuk never thought much of Boychuk, bro. I swear to God, bro. I think Tiger Johnson's, I think he's underrated as well. Don't let Slime hear that. But I mean he still gotta prove it. But I think Tito Mercado's underrated. There's opportunities coming though. I believe it. I want to see Sam Noakes come back. I want to see him come back and fight somebody credible. Raymond Mortataya, yeah. You know what was crazy, bro? When Raymond Mortataya was coming up, I was watching him real close. I was like, yo, I fuck with Raymond Mortataya. But after the Tevin Farmer show, I'm like, he kind of threw me off. But he made that 180 and then he beat Andy Cruz. So I'm like, okay, so Mortataya definitely underrated. Jordan Martinez, I gotta look at him. Shane got a chin like his pops. Definitely got a chin. If y'all niggas know Shane Mosley Sr., Shane Mosley done got hit with everything. Motherfucker ain't go nowhere. Noak versus Mordecai will be a good ass. That would be a good fight. I ain't gonna lie. It would be. It would be. Sam Noak's strong, man. Strong as shit. And durable as fuck, too. And he a dog. Cause he said he wanted to go down. Like he was like, man, I was thinking about just he said the canvas looked comfortable, but too much of a dog. Angelo Leo, it's a good one. Stephen Fulton beat him, but he bounced back pretty well. I feel like a lot of these underrated fighters gonna be like 130 and below. For real, for real. It seemed like once you creep into like the 122 area, niggas stop paying attention. I like that. I like that motherfucking Henry LeBron though, man. He kind of pissed me off with the Christopher Diaz fight, but he been inactive and shit, man. But he beat William Foster. He beat Christopher Diaz and all that. He came back recently, but man, I would love to see him more active. I think Henry LeBron got skilled. I like him. Ramon Cardenas, yeah, I like him. We gonna put together a list for sure though. That nigga ain't nobody think he was gonna put anyway on his ass like that. He was man. If he would have caught anyway with some more of them big ass bombs he threw, yeah, should have been raps. I do feel like Rafael Espinoza should. I mean, I don't think he's underrated because a lot of people consider him the best at 126. But I do feel like he should be a bigger name. You feel me? Like he got the charisma. He got the you know what I'm saying? He got the style. He could do it. I don't know why they not backing him. High knockout ratio, tall, rangy, exciting. I don't understand. Style Motion said, I missed this channel. Where you been, bro? Where you been, man? You went ghost on your boy. Let's see. Let's see. Style Motion said, do you agree the winner of Xander versus Boots becomes the face of boxing after Canelo? Possibly. Possibly. I don't know if that fight in itself will make them the face of boxing. I think they got to do a little bit more than that. But one thing's for sure, it's a step in the right direction. And their popularity is gonna go through the roof. And it's gonna be hard to not talk about them. It's gonna be hard to not talk about the winner of that fight. You can't ignore him. Because if Xander goes ahead and he beats Boots, bro, he just unified in 2 fights and then took out the top contender of the division. A lot of people claim Boots is the best at 54, and he don't even got a world title. And he only got 1 fight in the division. So if Xander defeats Jorge Garcia Perez, who came off of beating Charles Conwell, and then he fights Abbas Barahu, who just came off of whooping Yoenis Telez ass. Then he goes ahead and he beats Jaron Ennis, who's a former unified champion, undefeated, top contender at 154. It's like, all right, bro, like this nigga Xander's serious, bro. All right, Xander's serious. You feel me? Boots, on the other hand, you just unified at 47. Niggas ain't want no smoke, so you had to move up. Plus, you was outgrowing the weight anyway. So you go to 54. Niggas talking about you need 2 tune-up fights. You fight Luis Malima, top 10 dude at 154. Then you go ahead and you knock off the unified champion in your second fight. Who's gonna be able to tell Boots anything after that? What happened to them 2 tune-ups? In 2 fights, I became a unified champion at 54. Now y'all gotta respect me. Because now I unified in both divisions that I done took part in. So it's gonna be hard to ignore neither one of them guys, but it's a step in the right direction for sure. You know, becoming a face of boxing, that just consists of winning over and over and over and over again. Your marketability affects that as well. You know what I mean? If Xander win, Puerto Rico gonna become the new Cotto, like in terms of like, face. You feel me? He gonna be the one to be the face of Puerto Rican boxing. Golden Boy got Conwell locked up somewhere. Sad. Definitely sad. I just don't understand why black fighters sign with Golden Boy. Historically, they never done well with promoting black fighters. Just my opinion. You know what I mean? Especially after, Al Heyman split from them. It's like, yeah. Mari Jones doing well. Mari Jones could definitely rumble. I like him. If Xander beat Boots, the island gonna party so hard that PR could be seen lit up from space. Yeah, bro, they gonna go crazy. I just don't think anybody will ever do. I don't think any fighter, regardless of what they do moving forward, I don't think any of them gonna have the island on lock like Tito did, bro. That shit was different. Yeah, bro. They said like Tito lived like really close to the airport in San Juan, and it always took him hours to get home after he won a fight because they'll throw like a parade. They'll throw a parade, bro. My dad used to record shit on a fucking what's that, like them camera recorders where the VCR and all that. And bro, when Tito, I don't know who Tito fought. I forgot who he beat. It might have been William Joppy. But bro, my neighborhood, the neighborhood I'm currently in right now, is nothing but Puerto Ricans. It's like one of the most densely populated Puerto Rican neighborhoods in the country. Bro, when this nigga won, bro, niggas was literally celebrating. Like, you know how like the Eagles will win a Super Bowl and you see how the whole neighborhood, like the whole city, like, every time I won a Philly parade. The Puerto Rican parade all over. There's flags, niggas sitting on the top of their cars, bitches twerking, like shit was crazy. Niggas burning out in the middle of the street, waving flags, bro. Like Tito just had a different type of pull on the island, and still do to this day. That's the crazy part. I ain't never hear not one nigga fuck with Tito out on the island, bro. That nigga's a god over there. Not exaggerating. Still, man, I've been trying so hard to get an interview with Tito Trinidad, bro. Like, shit been difficult. I ain't gonna lie. I've been trying to reach out to his people through email. They're giving me a little bit of trouble. Sway say, yo, Mark, we really 5 weeks away until Boots makes Xander look easy. Yeah, I've been trying to refrain from talking about it because like, I'm burning myself out with that whole topic. I feel like we done said everything we need to say. I do feel like they need to promote a little bit more though. Like, I seen the little trailer they put together and all that, and that's cool. But we need a little bit more hype, man. Like they in the heart of camp though, so it is what it is. I seen somebody that I know that was in camp with Xander Zayas. Good work, not gonna lie. And from what I heard, he said the camp been great. Like them niggas working. You feel me? So Xander getting ready, man. Xander gonna come the best version of himself. He know what it is. I'm watching a little workout Xander doing and all that. He pushing his conditioning heavy. I've seen him doing a lot of explosive workouts with his legs. Xander gonna be ready for war, bro. You know what I mean? Let's see. I remember living in PR, and my whole school in PR was depressed when Tito lost to Winky. I mean, but to be fair, like Tito was past it by the time he fought Winky. Like that's I think when Tito lost to B Hop and shit, and he came back and who he beat up on? Was it Ricardo Mayorga? I think he came back and beat up a couple dudes or whatever. It was like Tito, like, you know, he could still rumble and shit, but like it seemed like his aura died out a little bit, like his eagerness, you feel me? Like his hunger. And sometimes that's what I mean. Tito had a long reign. Like Tito went 40 and 0. By the time niggas hit 40 fights, they already be like a little burnt out. You know what I mean? And after the B Hop loss, I think he only won 2 more times. And then, you know, he lost after that. He lost to B Hop. He came back and beat up some boy named like some weird Shafiri or something like that. Think he beat up on Ricardo Mayorga. Then he lost to Winky. Then he was done with boxing. I feel like he was done with boxing after that. Then he ended up coming back to fight Roy Jones. And man, Tito was already done, man. Like I don't even know why. I don't know if it was just like money he couldn't turn down, or maybe he just had that itch. But for real, Tito only lost to legendary fighters, like all time great. Like you lost to Roy Jones, one of the greatest ever. Bernard Hopkins, one of the greatest ever. You know, Winky Wright, Hall of Famer, great fighter. You feel me? Ain't nothing to be upset about, man. Look at all the motherfuckers Tito beat. He got one of the best resumes you come across in boxing. This is gonna be the last question, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Stop Motion said, "Would you say it's harder to promote black fighters than Mexicans? That's why Golden Boy promotes them better." Nah, I think that's what they want you to believe, but I don't think that's the case at all because a lot of people make it seem like Mexicans, they're easier to promote because they got a country behind them. Bro, black fighters got a fucking country behind them too. Why do motherfuckers act like black fans don't support their fighters? I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Look at motherfuckers historically. Look at the biggest attractions to ever come out of the sport of boxing. A lot of them are black fighters. Who the fuck is their fan base? Why are people acting like black fighters aren't American? Why are they acting like black boxing fans don't put up no bread? Because from what I understand, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back. Let's go back to Muhammad Ali. Who the fuck was his fan base? I mean, mind you, the world was at Muhammad Ali's feet. He was a different type of icon, but he was being supported by his own great fighter, Mike Tyson. Who you think Mike Tyson fan base was? Who you think Floyd Mayweather's fan base was? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure they have fans scattered out everywhere. But black fight fans made them stars. Who you think was backing Deontay Wilder when he was in those big fights with Fury? The black American fight fan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I always hate, but they got a country. It's always been this stigma. Oh, Mexican fighters are, they sell more than black fighters. Black fighters don't sell. Bro, look at that motherfucking pay-per-view, all-time pay-per-view sales in boxing and show me how many black fighters aren't on that list. Cut it out, man. Floyd Mayweather, biggest pay-per-view draw in boxing history. Black man. Oh, black versus black don't sell. Nigga, Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson is still on that list to this day. What the fuck is Lennox Lewis? Is the nigga white? Is he Irish? Is he Mexican? Is he Puerto Rican? I don't see that. So this shit just be killing me, bro. It'd be bullshit. It'd be bullshit, bro. Who was backing Bud? Who was backing Arrow? When Arrow was running them numbers up at Cowboy Stadium, was it Mexicans that was backing Arrow? No, not at all. When Boots sold what he sold like 14K at the Wells Fargo, who you think was his fan base? Come on, man. Clarissa Shields did like 18K in her hometown in Flint. Who the fuck was her fan base? So, yeah, I mean, it was a long drawn out answer, stop motion, but I don't think it's harder to promote black fighters than Mexicans. I think that the black boxer fan is extremely disrespected, very disrespected, and they some of the biggest supporters in the sport. You know what I mean? Golden Boy is founded by Mexican people. Their staff is Mexican people. Eric Gomez, that's a Mexican man. Oscar De La Hoya, the face of the company, he's a Mexican man. So who they identify with more? Mexican fighters. Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy, he was a Mexican-American fighter. He knows how to promote himself within the Mexican community. So that's what they specialize in. You feel me? So historically, they've always done well with promoting Mexican fighters. Because Oscar was one of the biggest draws in the sport of boxing. After he left Top Rank, he was promoting himself. Then he ultimately built who Canelo Alvarez is today. So based off of them two alone, they bread and butter, they specialty is promoting the Mexican fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they promote them better, because they know that product. They know that blueprint. They're experts in that department. Black fighters, you can't approach them the same. Has Robert Garcia ever trained a black fighter? I don't know. I've never personally seen it. I don't really think black fighters go out of their way to want to train with him. I mean, he did train AJ. He trained Robert Garcia for. Robert Garcia trained AJ for that Usyk rematch. I remember that. It ain't last very long, but I remember Robert Garcia did that. AJ Black, right? UK Black. Man, UK Black, US Black, Dominican Black, Puerto Rico Black, Jamaican Black. It's a black man, brother. Canadian Black, all black. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,500 mark. Looking to crack that 3,600 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation of the mob for making this possible. I'll be back at y'all with another live tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.